Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you for joining us. I hope all of you had a great weekend. And, you know, it was a long weekend for us here at the show. And, well, we're back. We are fresh. We are ready to go. And, you know, I think we have a great guest for you today. You know, they've been on a few times in the past, but, you know, this is the first time in a couple of years probably, and we're happy to have them back. But they are one of the best in the industry. One of the best in the industry when it comes to audio recording, listening. You know, they do so much stuff. It's great to have them on. Joining us today will be a company called Shure. And, you know, you may have seen their logo. They're plastered all over almost every celebrity you've ever seen perform. So, you know, hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, but before we do that, a couple of things to mention, including computeramerica.com. That's where you'll find everything from the show notes, which has a link to our guest website, any articles, videos, anything that we cover later on in the program, just anything and everything you need to know right there on our homepage. Be sure to check out the social media contest brought to you by Logitech, giving away a prize here soon, soon being Friday, of course. And be sure to check out the live video stream where you can watch Computer America and not just listen. So all that fun, all that goodness right there at our homepage. So I think with all of that said, we're just going to go ahead and bring on our guest, who is, again, with Shure Inc. They, you know, to find out exactly what they do and what they have new, because hey, that's the exciting part. It's not what have you done, it's what have you done for me lately. So joining us is the one, the only, Mr. Sean Sullivan, and he is the senior manager of global product management at Shure, and for the listen category, of course. And Sean, thank you for joining us here on Computer America.
Hey Ben, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. So, and yes, I immediately am intimidated because you have a better radio voice than I do. So this is going to be fun.
I can really turn it on if you'd like.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. So with that being said, welcome onto the show. And before we get started, why don't you give us a bit of a background on Shure and yourself, and how you found yourself working with Shure?
Absolutely. So my background is in sound engineering, acoustics and sound engineering. I've worked and got my degree in sound from Columbia College in Chicago about 15 years back. And I have been working in the high-end audio industry, in the consumer electronics end of it for a long time, doing whole house integrated control systems, high-end audio systems, until about 12 years ago, and I moved into Shure here, and I immediately started working in the headphone category. So Shure's been making earphones and headphones for about 20 years now. We're really one of the first people that started doing it at the high premium level, initially for performers on stage with our PSM systems, so that, I don't know if you're familiar with seeing the earpieces in the performer's ears. Those take away the need for the big wedge speakers that the monitor engineers have to deal with, and it just makes a better all-around stage, quieter stage, better for the instruments, better for the performers, better for the hearing, better for just high-quality audio. We made PSM systems which required in-ear headphones. So once the CE world came along and portable audio started getting more popular, we started marketing those professional earphones into the consumer channel, and we've been following those changes ever since. So I've had the pleasure to see it from, you know, pretty much the inception of the iPod all the way up to where we are now.
It's very interesting that you did that, of course, because I remember when the first earpods or in-ear headphone systems came out, audiophiles were appalled. They were aghast that, you know, you didn't have to wear giant bulky headphones to get, well, I wouldn't say good sound because the early ones were pretty, kind of on the fence. But, the people that were used to wearing the big cans, they were, kind of appalled, again, to use the word, that these little ones would produce music, but it wasn't to their standard. Very interesting that Shure saw this and said, we could do these better and we can make this a viable form, because a lot of people kind of wrote them off as, well, it's for teenagers or kids. It's not really for audiophiles. Do you think you've kind of, and we're going to get into exactly what you've released, but just in terms of in-ear headphones, do you think you've released something that would satisfy someone who is, kind of picky about their sound?
Oh, absolutely. From the get-go, our first earphones were high-quality transducers, full-range audio, something that, to your point, something that people would be shocked at, that the folks that are listening to these big cans are the hi-fi guys listening to their home entertainment systems, which still sound great, of course. But to be able to fit that much audio quality into a tiny little earpiece, and to be able to make them as portable and as durable and as great sounding as they are, was kind of a shock, to the market. It really came at the turn where portable audio became a thing again. Back in the day, it was Walkman, right? You had your cassette player or your radio, or if you were gentle, I suppose you could carry your portable CD player with you, and that was high-end audio there. But really, the portable audio was never high quality. It was never viewed as high quality. It was always looked at as Walkman headsets, and it was more of a convenience factor than a high quality factor. So really, as that portable source became more capable of producing good audio files and your storage grew, the need for higher end portable speakers and earphones per se became a much bigger thing. So now it's really come to the top of the industry where some of the best sounding products you can get are portable in-ears.
Yeah, and trust me, we're just off the, just last week, CES 2018 wrapped up. And one thing that is certainly common there, people kind of, audio equipment. It's a very crowded field. I definitely do say that Shure definitely stands out, but it is a crowded field. There are lots and lots of contenders, and and it's so weird because you've always, and you being Shure, have always, kind of put out products that were higher end, higher quality. That's kind of your mark. And then now Bluetooth speakers, we're going to get into these. This is the first time that you've released a Bluetooth product. And I think a lot of people look at Bluetooth and they go, that is the bottom of the proverbial barrel when it comes to audio equipment. So talk to us about Shure's first Bluetooth earbuds, because, I don't think you guys would bring yourself down to the level of, $15 Bluetooth headphones, but this is a new territory for you. How's it going?
Yeah, that's a good point. It took us a long time to get here. Bluetooth earphones and headphones have been out, obviously, for many, many years. And Bluetooth technology, albeit that has taken a long time to really take a hold of the audiophile market or the premium audio market, it has become more acceptable in the past year or two. And there are some higher-end codecs and some higher-end manufacturers like us that are, making sure that we can make a product that fits our brand, yet still answers the convenience of the Bluetooth world. The latest products that we've just launched, the SE215 BT1, which is a Bluetooth wireless version of the most popular earphone that we have, the SE215. This is our standard $99 product, and initially designed, again, for use on stages as well as with portable audio. It has been the most popular earphone, I'd say, that we've ever made from a volume and just overall global popularity standpoint. You'd be hard-pressed to find a $90 earphone that was as good as this, and it seems to be something that the market agrees with that fact too. So that's nice. We wanted to give that extra step because everybody seems to be infatuated lately with Bluetooth and detaching from your source. Bluetooth technology is getting there, and we wanted to make sure that we offered that convenience with our earphones as well. So the BT1 unit, which is basically a short cable that goes from one earpiece to another earpiece, and in between it has a battery and a control pod with a Bluetooth receiver built into it and a microphone. That is compatible with all of our earphones. They all feature a detachable at the earpiece MMCX connector that allows you to use a myriad of different accessories. A few of them that we've just launched, we'll get into in a little bit. But the Bluetooth being the biggest jump that we've made. And it's been taking off great. People like it. They want that convenience. And with that detachable earphone system, one of the things I think our particular customers appreciate is if they want that wired connection for the full fidelity, no questions asked, no battery necessary, they can use their standard cable or one of our other wired options. And if they want that convenience, they can just pop the earphones off of that cable and put them on the Bluetooth cable. And now they go to the gym and they've got their convenience for the 2 hours that they're going to work out. And they can come back and pop on that their standard cable for any reason that they might have.
Makes sense. So, a few things I like to ask, whenever a company, kind of comes into a new product, you said this wasn't your first one, but this is a new Bluetooth product. Anyways, my question is kind of why, I have two actually, but the first one is what's changed? What finally said that it was okay to make a Bluetooth speaker, or at least a Bluetooth headphone? Was it the technology had to mature to a point that you were comfortable putting a product out that sounded okay? Was it, some kind of R&D that Shure did? What made you guys finally comfortable with putting out Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of it was that. We refused to put out a product that we wouldn't be able to put our name on. If Bluetooth technology was that terrible to where it would just degrade an audio experience so much so that it wasn't a high premium experience anymore, we would not do it. Bluetooth technology has increased to that level to where we feel that perhaps not the top of the line critical listening experience would be held on a Bluetooth device, but many of the other, so many other reasons to listen to music, and Bluetooth can definitely handle most of those experiences without degrading any quality that would be noticeable. Like anything else, it's going to start with your file. If you've got a great recording, it's like taking a picture of a picture of a picture. If you start out with a great source that's a beautiful scene, and you take a picture of it with a Bluetooth camera, let's say, it's going to look just fine on the other side. But if you took a picture of a really bad scene that had already been taken, a picture of a picture of a picture, you're eventually going to see that degradation in the visual. I always like to use the visual because it's easier for people to understand the visual than the audio, but.
Right. No.
Really, for the convenience, for the one of the biggest markets that people want to use earphones in is an active kind of lifestyle, right? The gym, or they go running, or even if they're just commuting on the train, they like to be detached from their source. We wanted to make sure we gave our market that. They've been asking for it for a long, long time. We finally feel the technology is there, good enough for us to put our name on. So it took us a long time to get there, but we're here.
Right. No, and it definitely seems like this is also, in some cases a new entry point, which is also nice that, more people get to experience it. And you said it's very popular. Great to hear. Next question, then we'll move on with the other questions we have. But, and Sean, I'll let you answer this either as Sean or as a representative of Shure, but we've seen the Apple iPhone 7, 8, 10, and also the new Samsung Galaxy S8, I believe, also dropped the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I believe there were rumored that the Samsung Galaxy S9, as far as the phone goes, is bringing back the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So as someone who's been in the industry, I read a bit about your bio. 1924, I believe, was the starting. The 3.5, or at least headphone jacks in general, are like 100-plus-year-old standard, and phones are trying to do away with them. You hear with a Bluetooth speaker, it's not lost on me that it's also because some of the newer devices that people use headphones with just don't have a physical adapter to them. Again, speaking as either Sean or as Shure, how do you feel about phones being so wishy-washy on adapters?
First I'll answer as Sean. From Sean's standpoint, I really thought that it was short-sighted to get rid of a connection scheme that the industry has been making and selling accessories for forever, and basically telling a lot of people that say if you want the newest technology, you're going to now have to upgrade all the things that you use with it as well. It didn't seem like the fairest or the smartest of options, and I really thought it was going to kind of be a bigger hurt for the phone companies that were doing that than it turned out to be. From a Shure standpoint, we really kind of saw it as more of an opportunity. It was sad. There was some very sad faces around here thinking that it just seemed like the industry was going so fast that it was now going to be changing connectors every year, which just makes it for folks that are making accessories and things that connect to those phones even more difficult to keep up with the changing technology. We took it as an opportunity to make some new devices, new ways to connect to your phone that actually are an improvement upon the old ways. So, for instance, we have two cables right now, two accessories that are inline digital to analog converters with built-in headphone amplifiers that you can plug into either an LTG, a Lightning, into the iOS devices, and we can take that digital audio signal right from the phone. We run it through our converter, which is a premium converter. We use our headphone amplifier in our system, which is a nice headphone amplifier. You get your 3-button control for volume and taking calls and tracking and all that. We've got a microphone in line for talking on the phone, and then it ends in our MMCX connectors. So again, another one of those accessories that you can pop your earphones off of the Bluetooth device you're using and pop them onto this premium digital inline DAC amp, and now you really get the best of it. We've got that cable for USB-C for a lot of the new Android phones that are coming out without headphone jacks. They have USB-C connectors, as well as the iOS devices with the Lightning. That is a premium listening experience. I would say that, pardon me, as much as the cable, the 3.5 millimeter cable, was the most direct wired way that you could listen to audio through earphones in the past, you were subject to the converter and the headphone amplifier that was built into your source device, which in some cases was the last thing on the list of priorities for that manufacturer. You know, you might have gotten a source, whether it be a phone or a player, where they went for the best looking thing in the world without any consideration of the quality of their headphone amplifier, which would degrade the listening experience greatly. And now you can take that completely out of the picture, and you can use our internal to this accessory, the DAC and the headphone amplifier, which we know are high quality and basically gives you the best listening wired experience you can get for either one of those scenarios.
Right, no, and I definitely like how how Shure definitely turned that into a positive, where, like you said, you get to bypass in some cases hardware that is second quality or even forgotten about, and you get to essentially use more of Shure's own hardware when you're listening to music. So that's definitely very, very important. So getting back on track and talking about your headphones, again, if you're watching the video portion out there, we have been showing them off. They look great. Look like very ergonomic when they fit in your ear, that kind of thing. Talk more about this cable, because I think you touched lightly on it there. Talk about some of the specifics like battery life. Talk about the quality of the microphone and why it was so special to kind of make this cable a standout feature as compared to just another part of another headphone.
Absolutely. We're talking the BT1 product. The battery life on that is about 8 hours of use time. I believe standby time is about 220 hours or something like that. But yeah, it's a premium accessory for our earphones. It makes any of our stuff that we've been selling for the last 15 years or 8 years detachably. We can have our customers just buy this accessory, and now they still have the great audio quality that's built into those earphones. They can use that convenience of being wireless now. 8 hours battery life, a great Bluetooth reception. Now, the thing about Bluetooth reception is Bluetooth is a standard for wireless. It offers 30 feet of 30 feet of range, of connectivity, and really all you can do is not screw that up as a manufacturer. Many manufacturers can screw that up or have screwed that up. In that, Shure, luckily enough, one of our strengths is wireless. We make wireless products for the professional industry. We make wireless microphone systems, wireless communication systems, wireless conferencing systems. We have a lot of engineering resources and strength in that department. So it was good for me to realize or use those resources to make sure that the wireless connectivity in this Bluetooth, we were not going to screw it up.
Right.
So you get your 30 feet. You get your 30 feet of wireless connectivity. It's very solid. That's one of the biggest things important in the Bluetooth connection. There's nothing worse than listening to your music and having it drop out every 5 seconds. If you put something in your pocket or you get into some congested area. This is never perfect. A dropout's going to happen occasionally, no matter what you're on. Just that's the nature of the beast. But it's a rare occasion with the Shure one. It's got great linear audio quality. It doesn't degrade the frequency response when you use it with the different earphones compared to the wire. So it's coming along. Bluetooth is on its way to becoming, I'd say, accepted more and more in that higher end tier field.
Yeah. So and just to be clear, you said that you can buy the cable standalone, which is which of course makes perfect sense, but by doing that, you said that you can swap out, just to be clear, you can swap out the different, let's say if you buy just the earphones of, let's say, an SE 535 or something like that, you'd be able to swap those in. So like even if you kind of get in at the entry level and if you like it, you can upgrade, essentially almost upgrade later, right?
Absolutely, man. No doubt about it. Our SE215 earphones, which are our entry level on our detachable earphone line, are $99. Our Bluetooth headset, the RMCE-BT1, that adapter cable that's Bluetooth, that also sells at $99. We also have a version where you can buy them together, bundled, at $150. So really, when you buy them together, as your quest if your quest starts in the Bluetooth domain, you're already saving $50 by buying them together. Once you are in there, you can take those earphones off and replace them with any of our higher upgrade of earphones, or you can keep those earphones and detach that Bluetooth adapter and in place of it put any of our other audio adapters. It's a promise to our customers that if they invest in our earphones and our products, as the technology increases or as their desire for higher quality audio increases, they aren't starting from scratch every time. We will continue to develop new products with the same connectivity that offer the newest and latest and greatest, and they can interchange the parts that they want to upgrade and continue to use Shure products.
So you said that this was one of the highest volume, selling products that Shure has ever had. That's great, but that also means that you have a lot of new people coming in. Again, not a bad thing. But let's talk about your, maybe some of your existing customers or people who know Shure. I think when it comes to over-the-ear headphone quality, they're expecting one thing. What are people who are admittedly audiophiles and people who expect a certain level from Shure? What are some of the early reviews, and maybe what are some of the reviews from people who are switching from a more traditional listening method to the Bluetooth? Are they liking it?
Sure. I'd say it's split. It's a little mixed in there. The audiophile bunch, I'm sure you're well aware, they can be a fickle bunch. We love them. They love us. We have great relationships. However, some of them are not ready to take on the Bluetooth world, and some of them are. The Bluetooth world also has a mass of different possible codecs and things and details that you can put into your product or use or not use in your products, arguably better than others, depending on what source, and there's so many variables involved. There are many of them that want the best of the best of the best that's available, and we want to give them the best of the best that's available. Some of them appreciate the last fact where you can, I'm an audiophile, I want my pristine, perfect audio listening experience. However, I also sometimes want to go to the gym, or I want to get the convenience factor. So what we're really lucky with is that even the audiophile community that's been with us forever, even if they don't necessarily want Bluetooth for its audio, they can still appreciate the Bluetooth for its convenience, and they can appreciate our setup, which allows them to have whichever one they want, whenever they want it. So they can sit and listen to their premium, perfect $1,000 earphone wired with a digital cable to their high-end source, and get the closest to a nirvana that you can ever get. And then they want to drop that and ride the bus real quick, so they can throw on their Bluetooth cable and they still have that convenience, knowing that they can go back to that perfect audio experience whenever they want. They've really been able to follow us in that. I think they also know that this is our first foray into Bluetooth. Shure, as a rule, has never really dived into something a consumer technology like that with both feet first. There's a lot to learn. It's new technology for us. We've been learning quite a bit in our development of the BT1 products, and there's the technology itself is still evolving so fast, and it's a full-time gig to just absorb all of the changes and what they really mean. There's a lot of acronyms out there, and there's a lot of supposedly new technology, better technology, that's really difficult to understand what's real and what's just fluff. Yeah. So it takes a long time to really make sure that when we take a step, we want to make sure that we are very well aware of the step we're taking. We want to make sure that we can explain it to our customers and why we think it's the right way to go. We don't like to use marketing gimmicks as a reason to do a product. We like to use technology. So that reason alone makes us move a little bit slower. But as we move forward, as Bluetooth technology moves forward, like I said, we will keep up on these things, and our detachable earphone system really allows you to not be kind of passed up. If you bought something this week and something new comes out 3 weeks from now, you're still going to be able to take advantage of it without being out, because you can interchange everything. So right. It's really the best system around.
There's worse things out there than being sure of step. Thank you. I'll be here all weekend. But and I'm sure you hear that all the time. But so Sean, I will say we have like a minute left. If you would talk to us about the future, what people can expect maybe next, and also if people want to hear or at least find out more, we have a link to your homepage. But if people want to find out more about what we've been talking about, where can they go? So what's next? Where can they go?
Absolutely. What's next for sure? We will continue to make premium earphones, headphones with the newest and latest, greatest technology. We're going to try to make them as comfortable and as well built up to the Shure name. That's what we put our name on it, because it's built well and it sounds great. We're going to do our best to continue into the Bluetooth world, and really just make great products for all the folks that want to listen to their music in the new and exciting ways. If anybody wants to hear more or learn more, you can please contact us at shure.com. That's SHURE.com. And really, we'd love to hear from anybody. We're all over social media. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on Twitter or Instagram or any of those places out there if you're interested in getting us a hold of us. But yeah, we really love to talk to our customers and the people out there that have opinions on audio. So please contact us with any questions.
All right. Everyone, you heard it there. And of course, like I said, in the show notes, right there for your convenience. So Sean, I will say we're going to head off into break, and we're going to say goodbye. But I want to thank you so much, and thank Shure for coming on the show And again, it's been a couple years, far too long. Yeah, we'll talk to you hopefully later in the year, see what you have next. But Sean, thanks for coming on. Have a great one.
Thanks, Ben. Really had a great time. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everyone,
Bye-bye.
and there he goes. So, yeah, again, if you want to find out more, computeramerica.com show notes, and everyone, we'll be right back.
We are all Brother Wolf. 10 years ago, a group of locals banded together to create positive change. We took animals into our homes, held adoption events at local retailers, and talked to the community about our mission to help build a no-kill Asheville. A decade later, we have achieved so many victories for animals in need. There's been so much progress, yet there's still so much to do. As part of our year-long celebration, we encourage you to become a member of our special Compassionate Circle program. With a monthly donation of $10 or more, you will have behind-the-scenes access to the work we are doing at Brother Wolf. Our goal is to reach 1,000 members because we receive no government funding. Working together, we can help build and sustain no-kill communities. Learn more at compassionatecircle.bwar.org. We are a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 31 minutes past the hour as we continue on here. We just finished talking to Shure, and we talked about their Bluetooth lineup. They have a number of them. And yeah, this is a, kind of a new venture for them. Bluetooth, I think one doesn't always associate Bluetooth with audio quality, but I think Shure is trying to change that. And, it's one of those things that they have a lot of work to do when it comes to, they have brand recognition, that's for sure. But it's going to take a lot to differentiate yourself from, when people are standing there at the shelf and they're looking at the $15 Bluetooth headphones or the $100 Bluetooth headphones. There's a lot of work there to be done to convince people to say, I know that you're looking for something that's just good enough, but this is really going to make a difference. So anyways, happy that they joined us. Very, very fun conversation. If you missed any part of that, feel free to head on over to Computer America, where we have the show archive video format. Of course, you can hear us live on IRN, but we have the podcast as well that can be heard on anywhere podcasts are heard, be it iTunes, Google Play Store, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, wherever podcasts are heard. Hey, you can hear us there. And it's just the show in its entirety re-uploaded. So check that out if you miss any part of it. So with that being said, let's do computer and technology news. This is brought to you by Fire Dragon Security. So here we go, computer and tech news. All right, so we have a couple of stories here, and I think we're going to start off with this one because I love it when companies try to do one thing and it happens to do the exact opposite. So this is an article. This is from Engadget, and I don't need to tell you about the rampancy of something called fake news. It's a buzzword used by a lot of different people, but it's actually a real thing. This is, these are articles pumped out by a website or a publication that has little to no truth to it, but at the same time, it is insightful enough and it is attractive enough when it comes to its subject that it gets shared virally. They are articles written in such a way that they catch people's attention and they're easy to share, very quick, very big headlines, very incendiary, and really the purpose of it all is to get people to potentially click a link to share it to other people so that they'll click a link. And yeah, it's, there's of course the side of propaganda. There's the side that says, this is how politics is being shaped. But there's another side to it, and it's very basic. It's ad revenue. So a lot of companies have taken a hardline stance to it. Even entire countries, such as Germany, or France, I should say, maybe Germany as well, but France for sure, have taken a hardline stance of this is not acceptable. We will be, well, combating this. And yeah, well, now Facebook says that they, someone says that what Facebook is doing may actually amplify it instead of taking care of it. And that's a problem. That's an unintended consequences. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and, so this is from Gadget, Ms. Swapna Krishna, and here we go, saying that Facebook has been under fire since it revealed just how big its fake news problem is. Saying that it's been taking steps to combat the issue and reestablish user faith in the service. Even though all that faith, I think, has been dissolved, rightfully. So, anyways, but now it looks as though one of the most recent tweaks might have actually made things worse, where the New York Times reported that in some countries where Facebook has been testing its latest news feed changes, the tweaks have actually amplified fake news across the service. And, well, Facebook is, they tried to reach out for Facebook for comment, which I can see why they absolutely would not want to. But essentially, the company has made no secret of the fact that it's been changing the news feed algorithm over the past few months, with the idea, it's to figure out how to deliver content that users want to see. And the latest tweak, announced last week, involves prioritizing posts from friends and family over stories and videos from publishers. So again, Facebook is kind of subtle tweaks to the algorithm don't seem like that big of a deal. But when you consider that, X amount of people get all of their news from Facebook, it makes a very big deal. And it seems like they're trying to prioritize things from friends and family because obviously they're your personal connections. They're who who Facebook thinks you are on Facebook for, which is again connections, relationships, relatives, what have you. And yeah, turns out that seems to have been a bad move, where unless the publisher is ready to shell out a significant amount of money, the main news stories you'll see on your Facebook feed are the ones that your friends and family have shared, which kind of makes sense. It was a big deal when Facebook said that they were introducing paid advertisements or paid priority posts into people's news feeds. And now they're saying, well, we're moving away from that. That still feels like a good thing. But I can see where the abuse is starting to happen. Where, here we go, the article picks it up saying that it may sound good in theory, but the problem is that it hasn't worked so well in test countries, where so far they've implemented in Bolivia, Slovakia, Cambodia, and yeah. They said that though the company claimed that these changes are not identical to the worldwide changes it's putting into place, the problem is when the only news people get to see are the pieces shared by friends, is that sensationalist and often fake stories will be disseminated. And they have a quote here saying that people usually don't share boring news with boring facts. And that's the heart of it. That is the soul of fake news. Is that if you see something that confirms your bias and it's, it's eye-popping, heart-stopping, shocking behavior, so-and-so public figure is literally doing the worst thing in the world, you're going to share that and you're going to talk about that much more readily than so-and-so public figure does nothing of importance. You're not going to share, so-and-so didn't do anything today, but you are going to share so-and-so did the absolute most shocking thing in the world today. And yeah, not only you, but your friends and family. And when your friends and family do it, you are then bombarded, not by rational, normal, everyday, boring news. Instead, you are now bombarded with those that get likes, those that are, kind of, again, incendiary. So this algorithm change is certainly a big problem for publishers around the world who rely on Facebook's massive user base for their traffic, But there's an even larger issue here, where the company is making it harder for legitimate news organizations to share their stories, and by doing so, it's creating a breeding ground for the fake news it's trying to stamp out in the first place. And it's a terrible situation, and Facebook appears to just make everything worse. Again, this is not easy. That algorithm that we talk about, we say the algorithm. That's a very simple way to put tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lines of code and artificial intelligence and, thousands of curators and people working on it. We say the algorithm. It's a very nebulous and hard to, effectively change kind of thing that I can see where they misstep. And I only hope that, where the article points out that by making this one misstep, they are making it worse. I hope that they go back to the drawing board, because it's a hard thing to do. If it was easy, it would have been done already, but it's not. So I hope they keep working on it. So there you have it. Fake news. Again, not saying that this is fake news or that, fake news is anything. Fake news is a real thing. Companies, countries, individuals are all trying to combat it. And then those who produce the fake news, they're doing everything in their power to, every trick up their sleeve. They're trying to trick you into thinking that those who fight fake news are, in fact, themselves fake news. So it's a war of ideology. And yeah, so far, no clear winner. All right, so there's that story. We have time for more. All right, how about this one? I didn't pick this up last, and sorry about this. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, autoplay videos. They are the bane of my existence. So let's see. Didn't pick this up at CES, but I will say that this was one of the cooler things out there, and it's the new, taken from the Apple AirPad or the AirBook, whatever it was. Anyways, new world's thinnest laptop, and this brought to you by Acer. Not sponsored, just saying Acer makes the laptop, where Acer Swift 7 is currently the thinnest computer in the world, and absolutely that they should use the qualifier currently. But check it out. This is, they're saying that Acer says that the 8.98 millimeter Swift 7 is the thinnest laptop in the world. Folks, if you haven't seen a picture of this thing, highly recommend it. I mean, just the fact that, get this, it has to flare out. Like, it has to increase its size on the portion that has the USB-C connectors. Like, USB-C, very, very thin connectors, and this thing has to increase its size. I mean, they even have like a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and it looks, well, no, I take it back. That is probably a power slot. But anyways, the power adapter looks bulbous on this thing. This thing is super, super thin. Probably not very practical, but it's a cool proof of concept. So, this one coming from CNET, the Acer Swift 7, and we're just going to do the highlights here. You know what? Let's actually start off with the specs, because this is pretty cool. So the 7th gen Intel Core i7 processor, doesn't say anything about speed, probably pretty low. Probably a mobile processor, or at least a processor designed for laptops. So probably in the 2 to 2.5 range, I would probably give it. 256 gigs of PCIe SSD storage, pretty darn good. Although I don't get why they didn't go with M.2, probably keep the price down. Anyways, let's see, 8 gigs of very, very specialized RAM. 4G LTE connectivity, so if you don't have a wired internet connection, don't worry about it. This thing runs on mobile data. 14-inch display, 1920 by 1080, keyboard, 10-hour battery life. 10-hour battery life, not bad. Not bad for such a slender-looking laptop. But here's the thing. pretty middle of the road, nothing too extraordinary in terms of hardware. Like really, if it weren't for the form factor, you'd be paying, probably in the neighborhood of $600, $700, $800 worth of hardware here. But because of the form factor and because it is the world's thinnest laptop, and again, you can look at the pictures of this thing. They are really out there. Yeah, you're going to be paying about $1,700. You're probably going to be doubling your price for the opportunity to use the world's thinnest laptop. And so, yeah, they said that the undeniably good-looking laptop features an all-black aluminum design with a 14-inch touchscreen with a narrow bezel. And it also has 4G LTE connectivity, like we said. And, yeah, that's just about it. So they said that the Acer Swift 7, by the way, if you want to Google it, Acer Swift 7, it has a lot of competition. And though having an older 7th gen processor is a knock against it, especially at these prices, its high price tag may dissuade those shopping on the budget, but the laptop will surely catch the eye of anyone with cash to spend and you fancy a new machine. Personally, again, you're paying essentially double for the form factor. And if you don't care about that, if you want a super, super thin laptop, this looks like a pretty good one. Yeah, so there you have it. The Acer Swift 7, check it out. Pretty darn cool. All right. So from hardware review to we had a couple stories I really, really, really wanted to do. Google. There's been a lot of talk about what do you do with these people who are going to be replaced by automation? What happens? What do you do with retraining? And Google is stepping up. This is one thing you definitely can't knock Google for. Not only is it great to find, information, but Google actually does a lot when it comes to IT certification. So Google starts a certificate program to fill empty IT jobs. And this coming to us from Axios, where there are 150,000 open IT jobs in the United States, and Google wants to make it easier to fill them. Where today, the company is announcing a certificate program on the Coursera platform to help give people with no prior IT experience the basic skills they need to get into an entry-level IT support job in 8 to 12 months. So from absolutely no IT experience into, hopefully, an entry-level IT support job position in 8 to 12 months. So, the article says that entry-level IT jobs are typically higher paying than similar roles in other fields, but they're harder to fill because the IT support roles don't require a college degree. They do require prior experience. And this is why, we've always told people who are looking to get into technology, it's not so much your college degree, but, that's important. If you can get it, if you can afford it, great, do it, go for it. But another important tool to getting into IT are certificates. They are certifications that say that I am, I am A+ certified. I am certified to work in networking. I'm certified to work in, any number of different fields in IT. And the more certificates that you get, the more you're certified to do, the more desirable you are as an employee. And those certificates can be, anywhere from a 2-month course to simply a test to, paying for a voucher and then taking the test. Like, they're nowhere near as expensive as a full-blown college degree, but you can get into a good paying job without having to go to college. It's a great deal. And so for Google to add yet another way to, to enter into this and to start people on this path, I think is great. So they said that the median annual wage for a computer network support specialist was $62,000 in May 2016, where the median annual wage for a computer user support specialist was $52,000. Now, of course, you should take that with a grain of salt because, entry level, I'd probably put it closer to $35,000, $40,000. And then those numbers are probably skewed up because people are in such high demand. Experts in the field, PhDs, people with 5-10 years experience with a lot of certificates, they're in such demand that those people command $100,000. So median, that's good and all, but there's a lot of room for improvement, but you do start a little bit lower. But hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. So they said that Natalie Van Cleef Conley, who was the former head of Google's tech support program, was having trouble finding IT support specialists. So she spearheaded the certificate program, where it's also part of Google's initiative to help Americans get skills needed to get new jobs in a changing economy. And let's see, enrollment begins and online classes start January 23rd. And after completing the program, certificate holders will be connected to other companies looking for entry-level support workers, including Bank of America, Walmart, Sprint, GE Digital, PNC Bank, Infosys. Essentially, Google is also going to help in job placements if you pass their course. So, let's see. Where a lot of companies struggle to fill these roles, which is why so many end up turning to H-1B visas holders who have the required skills. And this certificate curriculum is an acknowledgement from the employers that they need to train Americans to do these jobs, and we'll do away with as many H-1B visas. Although I've heard a lot of abuse with the H-1B visa system, where you can get certified in, let's say, India, doing a very esoteric, very specific kind of degree, and obviously, it's very hard to get. So in America, few people have it. In India, it's more of a factory and they just kind of give them away like candy. So, you have a lot of options. They work for a lot cheaper. But in terms of quality of candidates, it's that these H-1B visas, in a lot of cases, are meant to bring skilled workers, and it turns into a cost-saving measure. So, again, glad that Google's doing this. And folks, if you're looking for a way to get into IT, I'm not saying that you have to do Google. There's a lot of different free online courses. There's a lot of certificates that you can pay for that cost like $35, $50, $75. And they really show that you're more than just someone who likes computers. If you get those certificates, you become a very, very attractive candidate. So check it out. Maybe Google, maybe someone else, but there are ways to get into IT that don't require an expensive college degree. Check it out. All right. So for our next story, probably our last one, why don't we do... All right. I like this one. So mute this. So again, autoplay videos. So this is an article from CBS. Here we go. From CBS. And it's about Florida seniors could hold the future to driverless cars. And, kind of funny to think that, well, not really funny to think, makes perfect sense that the community that would probably most likely embrace self-driving cars are those who unfortunately don't have the capabilities, faculty, or abilities to drive anymore. So, as supporters and critics debate self-driving vehicles, 125,000 senior citizens who live in Central Florida retirement community will take them for a ride in the world's largest self-driving experiment, where they'll travel 750 miles of road in the village's retirement community near Orlando. And they said that Voyage, which is an autonomous vehicle startup specializing in a robo-taxi service, will pick them up at their homes and drive them free of charge to and from grocery stores, theaters, pools, golf and tennis with only a technician on board to monitor the system. This is where self-driving technology was meant to be. I kid you not, this is great to see, and great to see the Voyage has permission to do this. Where if this rollout proves successful, it could pave the way for for autonomous vehicles to assist seniors nationwide with needed services. It could also give a lift to this fledgling industry at a time when automakers are coming under fire for moving too fast on self-driving vehicles. And yeah, they said that, but in this community, older Americans seem to like it, where there's been tons of interest by seniors and no complaints, and they feel like pioneers. And elderly, retired people of the villages, yeah, you are pioneers. You get to be the ones to really test out self-driving cars. They're not really dangerous, but someone has to take the first step. So they said that 80% of the village's residents, who average age is 72, have smartphones and will be able to access the free service through an app provided by Voyage. Polls show that the growing senior population is eager for autonomous vehicles. They certainly have a need for this, as their biggest problem is visual impairment. Many can no longer drive or drive only during the daytime. And let's see, located in Santa Clara, California, Voyage is a spinoff of Udacity. And let's see. So, yeah, lots of quotes. This article is very, very well researched. We have a link to it in the show notes. But let's just wrap this up by saying that a lot more trailblazing. According to a white paper by the Insurance Information Institute, which represents auto insurers, the three biggest issues are legal liability, which I really don't buy, because a number of automakers have already claimed that they would accept any legal liability on behalf of their self-driving cars. I know it's a thing where people are like, well, who's at fault? Is it the person who bought the car? Is it the person who designed the software? Is it the person who manufactured the car? Yeah. Auto manufacturers are already stepping up and saying that we will be at fault if one of our self-driving vehicles hits someone. So I don't think that's that big of an issue. Anyways, they said three biggest issues: legal liability, federal and state policies, and consumer acceptance. Consumer acceptance, I don't think that's going to be a thing. People are more than happy to be lazy. That is an easy ask of a lot of people. The hardest one, probably federal and state policies, because it can be very patchwork, from county to county, state to state, even within the same country. If you don't have a fair set of rules, you could be breaking the law as you travel down the road. That's probably going to be the hardest part. Anyways, but the Voyage project in Central Florida could help win over consumers for driverless cars among one of the key consumer groups, which is the growing number of American senior citizens, where we have a long way to go before this is a viable form for everyone in the country. But if we succeed here, it could be easier to win universal acceptance for self-driving cars. So again, this is something that we've talked about on the show, a demographic that is eager, hungry, desperate for self-driving car technology, and looks like they're finally going to be able to get it. I hope it goes really well. I hope that nothing goes bad and adoption rates are amazing. And we'll be able to work out some kinks. So with that being said, everyone, the music means we're just about done here. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Computer America. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Let's check the calendar. Derek Shawnee. He is Computer America's graphics expert, and you can be sure we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things, including what was seen out at CES 2018. And folks, again, thank you to Shure Inc. for coming on the show, talking about their headphones, and looking forward to having them back on. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out computeramerica.com for all the links, all the show notes, and the contest brought to you by Logitech. So until next time, everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much. And catch you here tomorrow. Everyone, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Computer America. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.